Hi, everyone. Just checking to see if everything's all right. Out of all the days, today the microphone didn't work. So just wanted to see how the computer's mic is working. We're just going to wait a few minutes to see if anyone's out online so they can confirm that with me. So, any feedback? Right. Okay. Can anyone hear me? Is anyone there? Okay, we'll just wait a few more minutes. Okay, so let's see who we have. Can anyone confirm the sound and the video? Sounds okay. Alrighty. So I'm not really concerned if anyone's online because we'll be saving these videos also because of the time difference in the United States and in Europe. So don't worry if you've missed the moment to go live. It's just that I'd like to get this information out as fast as possible so people can actually start breathing correctly. So not a problem if you can't make it on the time. It would be nice to be able to interact. I don't know if today I'll have any time for questions or anything, but just to give you some heads up, I will be posting these videos on YouTube as well. And then I will be posting the notes. I've made some PDF notes for you, which I'll be posting in the Kuso Consulting group. So if you're not part of that group yet, I'll put the link at the bottom of this video, so then you can go and download the PDF notes whenever you wish. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Today I'm going to give you just some specific details of how the body is functioning with the oxygen when you breathe correctly, and how the body functions without the oxygen, the way we've been breathing, not knowing how to breathe properly, which in my case was I couldn't believe that I wasn't aware of this information. So now that I'm more aware of what is happening in my body without consciously breathing, what doctors normally call futile breathing. Futile breathing is when you're just breathing through your chest, not giving it much attention, mostly in the mind, thinking about your thoughts. What we're actually doing is strangling ourselves unknowingly. It's not our fault. But now that we know, and I'm going to give you this information so you can become aware of how important it is to consciously deep breathe as often as you can. And the fact is that now that you'll be practicing these deep breaths, I'll be showing you this so many ways that you can breathe, but the basics of today, we'll actually do the breath together. But just to give you some insights, so the body, if without the oxygen, it doesn't have sufficient energy to actually function the way it should be functioning. So then it starts prioritizing, or it starts to prioritize what it needs to do in order to just get the basics, the heart pumping, enough oxygen and energy to the brain, the muscles, and so on. So what it normally does, it just starts to prioritize, and the oxygen is supposed to process food and liquid, but if it needs to prioritize, it starts to store fats, and you know where it starts to store it. So it starts to store it in your thighs, in your belly, in your arms. Okay, so I'm going to give you just some details that I've written down. Okay, so your body needs oxygen to function correctly, and the body processes food, liquid, and oxygen. Okay, we may enjoy the food and the liquid more, but it's the actual oxygen, okay, that provides the fuel to create energy in our bodies. Okay, oxygen, through a process called oxidation, chemically changes food and liquid into energy. Okay, so if we're not breathing deeply, we don't have enough oxygen, this process cannot happen correctly. Okay, therefore, we're actually interrupting, we're cutting off our actual supply of energy. Now, to me, that was like the moment I read that, and it just it captivated me. I don't have energy. I don't feel, incredibly powerful because I'm not breathing. It's like a domino effect. It's all a chain. It's all connected. Just by simply knowing how to breathe properly and consciously, we can have all these benefits we've been denying ourselves unknowingly, which just blew me away. So I'm really, really happy and enthusiastic I'm giving you this information today. Okay, so through this process called oxidation, chemically changes food and liquid into energy, which in turn, with this energy, this is the energy that contracts our muscles, it repairs our cells, it feeds our brains, and it eliminates, listen to this, it eliminates 70% of the body wastes through our breath. Like 70% of the toxins, like we don't know exactly how our body works, okay? And if you talk to different kind of people, doctors and biologists and so on, they'll all give you their different version. However, it is a complicated subject. Well, we don't really need to get into that. The main thing that you need to know is that we have 3 ways of eliminating waste. And the biggest one is through your breath. Believe it or not, is through your breath. You really, really need to capture this. If you're not breathing correctly, toxins are staying in your body. And guess how many old cells that we have in our body that it needs to get processed every single day. Every single day, 700 billion cells, old cells, need to be expelled out of our body every single day. That's the amount of work that the oxygen needs to do. Our body can do it effortlessly if only we take the time to sit. Or not even, while you're doing things, you'll get into the habit. I'll show you how to breathe now. But just to expel, get rid of the wastes. Otherwise, the toxins stay in and you start feeling heavy. You've got no energy. And then now you have a perspective of life that is very, very hard and heavy to be walking around. So I'm excited about this. Just by simply breathing, it is just a simple habit, and it's something you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. You know why? Because the body knows how to store food. The body knows how to store liquid. We've proven that. But it doesn't store oxygen. Your body does not store oxygen. It's something you need to provide it every single day. You need to provide oxygen. It doesn't store up oxygen. You are the provider of that. Consciously letting in the oxygen, inhaling and exhaling through your breath. That's how we get rid of the cells that we don't need. And the fats. Let me tell you about the fats. Okay, so normally 9 out of 10 do not know how to breathe correctly. Who is that 1%? Athletes and singers and everyone that knows that gets involved into some sort of exercise, but maybe they're not consciously aware of it, or maybe they are, mostly they are. So by running, for example, you're basically forcing your body to breathe. And they can breathe anything between 7 and 8 liters of air to 30, 34 liters of air just by, moving your body. But not everyone is an athlete. I mean, I personally don't run unless someone is chasing me. But the fact is that if you're not an athlete, it doesn't matter. You can sit down and take in that oxygen, consciously breathe, and you'll be having the same benefits that the athletes and the singers and everyone that actually practices deep breathing. Yoga is a very good practice if you don't like too much physical activity. I highly recommend it. So the main reason why exercise burns fat is because it increases the rate of oxygen that reaches your cells. Very simple. Okay, so when you run, for example, you can increase your oxygen intake from 7 or 8 liters up to 34 a minute. Okay, fine, you don't want to run, that's not a problem, but you can allow that much of oxygen just by sitting and doing 10 conscious breaths at a time. Okay, so listen to this. Fat, for those, I'm going to try and captivate you, for those that are looking to lose a bit of weight. I myself have effortlessly let go of about 10 pounds, which is approximately 4.5 kilos. Okay, just by breathing correctly every day, religiously, giving it a priority. Okay, so fat is made up of oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. So when you breathe in oxygen, it reaches these fat molecules and it breaks them down. Okay, it breaks it down to carbon dioxide and water. And guess what? With the oxygen that now, the energy you've given, it takes it through the bloodstream back to the lungs for it to be exhaled. Isn't that amazing? The body knows how to do this, guys. It will break down your fats. Without oxygen, there's no breaking down. There's no breaking down. You need to break it down in carbon dioxide, and that's how it gets out of the body, through the breath. All right? So the blood picks it up, picks up the carbon dioxide and returns it to the lungs to be exhaled. So the more oxygen you provide to your body, the more energy it has to do what it knows how to do. So again, we are strangling ourselves, people. We are strangling. Our energy levels, our fat cells, we're all keeping it because we are unaware of how to breathe correctly. And this is unacceptable if someone had given me this information from a very little girl, this is what you need to do. This is your only job to get the body to live in this three-dimensional world. All you need to do is breathe. Give it the oxygen it needs, and you don't have to worry about a thing. I don't think we'd ever have to experience, we'd never have to experience these discomforts and these lack of energies and feeling so sorry. The amazing thing that hit me when I was reading all this information is that it made me realize how it is that by not having sufficient energy, the heaviness in our body actually keeps us as a frequency, a very, very low frequency. So that's when I started meditating and doing some yoga and going to retreats and really becoming aware of my thoughts, thinking that is how I'm going to raise my frequency. So when you have a very, very low frequency, you're actually interacting with a perception of the world that is equivalent to that frequency. Just by breathing more intensely every single day, that naturally rises. So now you're going to be rendezvousing with thoughts and beliefs of a different frequency. But I really want to get more into that maybe tomorrow from the mind perspective. Let's focus more on the body today. So the immediate benefits of providing consistent oxygen to your body, okay? The immediate benefits that you will be seeing The moment you start to do this, okay, obviously healthier lungs improves your body posture without knowing it. There's this energy that actually keeps your body upright while you're walking, while you're doing it. It will remember how to do that, okay? Detoxifies and releases toxins, releases deep feelings from your body. Now, this is a topic that I'm going to dedicate one whole day to. It from when we were children, we've remembered episodes and experiences and how we dealt with that in the moment. We've actually embodied these emotions inside our body, and if we don't breathe, even those remain hidden deep down inside of us, and therefore we remember what happened in the past and now we're projecting into the future. But I promise you I will dedicate a whole day to that, which is very, very important. So it releases deep feelings from our body, relieves emotional problems, that too will be connected with that, eliminates excessive fats. Now, I've just told you that one sentence of how it breaks down fat into carbon dioxide and water, and it's just that simple. You will lose weight. You don't. It's an effortless thing. In fact, there was a quote in the book that said, "You don't have a weight problem. You have a breathing problem," which I personally like that definition a lot more. So can't do that much about the weight problem, but I can do something about my breathing problem. I don't have a breathing problem. I'm now aware of it. I know how to breathe. So that's exactly what I'd like to emphasize. So boosts energy levels. I mean, it just comes with a bonus, doesn't it? More oxygen, it produces more energy. More energy, your frequency rises. The frequency rises, the quality of your thoughts and your beliefs start to elevate. You start to feel better. And your endorphins, it also affects your happy cells. So if you're not feeling too good, it's because the domino effect. It's basically because you're not breathing correctly. Okay, let me get to that now. So it oxygenates our brain and relaxes the mind, providing clarity. That is very important. That will be the topic for tomorrow. So it strengthens your immune system, releases endorphins, providing well-being and pain relief. So when it releases without oxygen, endorphins cannot be released. Okay, matter of fact, without oxygen, endorphins. So it's all connected, isn't it? Without oxygen, you're not getting sufficient energy. You're not getting sufficient endorphins. Your body's feeling heavy. Your body's feeling dense. Then we go out and look for substitutions, pharmaceuticals, and things like that, which now burden the body even more. Breathe, people. We need to breathe. Okay, so it improves your blood quality. So it can actually take out those toxins. 70% of our waste is expelled through the breath. I will keep repeating. Get used to it. 21 days of constant repetition. I would really like that you embody this information. Increases oxygen levels in the blood and removes carbon dioxide. So these are the benefits. As I said, this PDF, I will be putting it in the group so you can download it and read it over and over again. So, okay, so not everybody's an athlete. We don't really need to be running and doing all the exercise, even though it's having more energy. When you start breathing and you have more energy, you actually feel inspired to go for a long walk, or you feel inspired to do some physical activity because now you're feeling this energy inside your body, and maybe you'll start having a skip in your step. You know what I mean? So when there is sufficient energy flowing in your body, then you feel inspired to maybe you'd want to go to the gym. If you have that gym membership, you'd want to go for a long, speedy walk, or even for a run, or you'd like to go for, you don't need to motivate yourself and say, oh, I need to go to the gym. No, you're going to feel energetic just by breathing profoundly, deeply, every single day, as often as you can. So the more energy you have, you'll be inspired. There'll be inspired action, not forcing yourself to do things. And that's exactly what the diet sort of thing is. When you diet, you're forcing yourself. Can you imagine the strain that you're putting on your body? You're not breathing correctly. You weren't aware of it. Now you are. So you diet, you're not breathing correctly, and you're eliminating foods from your body. So now you don't have enough oxygen and you don't have it. So there's no energy. That's why diets are so not, no one's really excited about a diet. Okay. No one's really, but start to breathe more deeply, consciously. And you'll see that even your body will start to give you messages of what it feels like. If you start listening carefully, the moment you start breathing consciously, the body will then give you these desires. Like it will come up, I feel like this. And then when maybe you think about something else and the body's not that excited, you'll start to have a different relationship with your body, which I'm excited for because I've experienced this. It's listening to your body and not forcing the body to do something that you want to do. Allow it to just be free, give it the oxygen it needs. It knows what to do. It is very, very intelligent. All right? I posted a beautiful video about the amazing body on my page. It's only 13 minutes long. Have a look at it. It will inspire you. So, the benefits. Conscious breathing. By focusing on your breath, you are now practicing conscious breathing. You are no longer lost in thought. And as I said, that will be a topic I'm going to dedicate completely to just in one day. Your relationship with consciously breathing and your thoughts and how important and powerful that is. Okay, number 2, make it your priority. I sincerely, what I'd like to do is inspire you with these 21 days is to make it a priority. As I said, oxygen cannot be stored. It is something you have to constantly provide in your body. So make it fundamentally important that you remember to make it a habit. Breathe until it just becomes a habit. Okay? So it must become a priority. You must be consistent. None of this, I have a busy day, I'll breathe tomorrow. No. It must be consistent. Okay? Oxygen is something you require on a daily basis for the rest of your life. Become a master at breathing. If you become a master at breathing, the benefits are all around you, inside and out. Just master one thing. If you master one thing in your life, is that breathing. So, and the last one, your health and well-being depends on it. You must become aware of all the benefits that you are at the moment depriving yourself of. And that saddens me a bit. Just by simply, the most simple act the body relies on, and we are denying it unknowingly. So, let's get to the breathing. Tomorrow we'll be discussing why you're not breathing. You haven't been breathing correctly all this time. That included me. Just to give you some head up, we'll be discussing the habits of thoughts that actually take our attention away from the present moment and our bodies. Our thoughts then can dictate the tune of how your body is reacting emotionally. And that's what happens. So tomorrow we'll go into detail about the tune, the vibrational frequency tune that your thoughts in your mind, how they're dictating on how you're actually breathing, how you're actually moving, how you're feeling about yourself. So, and if your thoughts create, for example, anxiety, fear, stress, despair, so that's how your body is going to be feeling. Your body posture, your whole energetic environment. And obviously when you're in thought, you're not in the present moment. Therefore you're not focusing on exactly how you're breathing. So let's get to practicing breathing. I just want to, if you're online with me right now, you can even give me some feedback. If not, just take in a deep breath. Put your hand on your belly and take in a deep breath. And just notice in which direction your belly goes. Does it go out or does it go in? Taking in a deep breath, if your belly goes in, you've been breathing backwards. Isn't it fun to find out this? So basically, deep breathing is you sit in a relaxed position or you lie down. I personally, as I open my eyes in the morning, I stay in bed and I do my 10 deep breaths before my feet touch the ground. All right? So just place, if you're sitting down, that's fine. We'll just do them now. It literally takes from 2.5 minutes to tops 3, depending how long it takes for you to exhale. Let's say 3 minutes, not more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes of your time, as often as you can. And even while you're out, if you can't fit in 10, for example, 1, 2, 3 deep breaths in any moment, it does wonders for your body. They will be so happy. Your cells will be so happy to have extra oxygen where before they didn't, they'll even throw a party. So let's get started. So put your hand on your belly and take in a deep breath through your nose. Close your mouth and through your nose. And let that belly rise. Okay, at the beginning it's going to feel like effort, but it's just something. It's like learning how to brush your teeth with your left hand where before you've been brushing it with your right hand. It's just give it a couple of days. It'll become very, very effortless. So breathe in, your belly rises. You hold for 4. And then you exhale. Let that belly go in. And then with your abdomen, just squeeze the last bit of air out. Before taking in the next breath, wait for 4 counts. And then you inhale again for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Sorry, always through your nose. Always through your nose. Exhale through your nose. So it's 4. Inhale. Hold for 4. And then exhale. And you can go exhaling slower. And how you're inhaling is much better. So if you can take anything between 4 and 8 counts on the exhaling part. Okay. Do not force. I repeat, there is no effort in this. It needs to feel natural and effortless. Okay? So you repeat that 10 times, just a cycle of 10. As you wake up in the morning, before your feet touch the ground, you do your 10 breaths, lying down. Consciously focused on your breath. Not thinking what you're going to be cooking for lunch or your appointments. Just let that all go and just say, I am now going to give my presence to my life force, oxygen, breath, to my body. That's your commitment. That's all you need to do. Then what I prefer to do after lunch, for example, during midday, again, sit and just be with my body, just be with my breath, focus on my breath, and do the 10 cycles again. Let the belly expand. Don't force the belly. It will be, as more you do it, it'll become, you'll see that you'll be able to put more and more oxygen in, and then exhale. You'll find your rhythm. You will find your rhythm. I know you'll find your rhythm. Okay? And then at night, before you fall asleep, I lie in bed, I close my eyes, and it's the last thing I do, and I breathe. And it just becomes a beautiful habit, knowing what I am doing for my body, doing for myself. It is the most lovable way of giving attention, appreciation for how this body functions without my I don't need to do anything. I don't check on how my heart's beating or the lungs and the nerves, and it just does everything on its own. All I need to do is provide the fuel. Your breath is the chief cleansing tool of your body. Without oxygen, it cannot do what it was designed to do perfectly. So guys, I hope I've inspired you. I will, I've also given you some ideas on the PDF when to put in an extra couple of breaths. For example, when you're feeling a bit flustered or emotional discomfort, if something's come up, I normally take, a couple of deep breaths. Okay. The other day I got stuck in a storm on a boat. That was a perfect time to just, put in a couple of more breaths because I was really feeling tense. When you're feeling physical discomfort, if you're in any kind of physical pain, okay, I know it's a bit harder if you're in chronic pain, but give the body the oxygen, because the more oxygen you give it, it releases endorphins and pain relief. It can help. It will help, okay? While brushing your teeth or shopping, stuck in traffic, anyone? If you're stuck in traffic, you're sitting in the car, breathe, breathe. Anytime you're waiting at the dentist, at the doctor's, in line, anytime waiting is a topic for you in that moment, forget about waiting. I'm going to take this opportunity to breathe, okay? So anytime you can just make it a habit, just keep breathing 10 cycles in and out slowly. Just let that belly rise, hold for 4, and exhale slowly, okay? And in these 21 days, I'll be sharing other ways of breathing, and maybe you'll enjoy others, but this is one of the basics, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to let you go now. It's been fun for me. I've never really done videos, so this is one way to really get inspired of how to improve. And if you've come across any sort of tips that I should know, I'm up for suggestions, and I really appreciate you being here and watching these videos. I hope this has enlightened you, has made you more aware, just slightly more. And if you'd like more information, just let me know. Send me a message, and I'll be happy to send you the name of some books and some exercises. If you're up for yoga, meditation, I'd be happy to share more with you. But make it a priority. Breathe consciously. Do it every single day, at least 3 times a day. And if you can, slip in a few more. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you.